The Chicago Bulls in the 1990s were undoubtedly the most dominant team in that era, winning 6 championships that could have been 8 if Jordan hadn't retired. After winning the '98 NBA Finals, Jordan retired once again, and the Bulls went into a rebuild. They traded Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman left in free agency, and since then it's pretty much been a constant struggle for the Bulls. Besides for a few seasons with Derrick Rose, the Bulls haven't been at the top of the league for a very long time. A lot of this lack of success can be blamed on the incompetence of the front office. Garpax have constantly made the wrong move year after year, to the point where if you want to run a competent front office, all you have to do is ask yourself, what would Garpax do, and then proceed to do the opposite. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to 1998 and correct the Bulls' mistakes to the present. After moving Pippen, in the 1998 NBA draft, the Bulls made their first mistake. They drafted Corey Benjamin, who wasn't much of anything in his career, with the 28th pick. Instead of taking Benjamin, we will take Rashard Lewis, who's a stretch 4 who was a 2-time All-Star. The Bulls in the 98-99 season were complete trash, as you would expect, and as a result, the Bulls had the first pick in the draft, and they used that pick on Elton Brand, and they used a pick acquired from the Suns to draft Ron Artest 16th overall. Both of those moves were the right moves, so I won't make any changes. And in the 99-2000 season, the Bulls do show some signs of improvement, and as a result, the Bulls drafted Marcus Fitzer 4th overall, then traded that pick for Jamal Crawford, who was selected 8th overall, which is fine as Jamal is a better overall player. The 2001 season goes by and the Bulls still suck. In the 2001 draft, here's where the Bulls made 2 mistakes. They first traded Elton Brand, their best player, to the Clippers for Tyson Chandler. Now, don't get me wrong, Tyson is a great player, but Brand would go on to be an all-star with the Clippers. So we are instead going to hold on to Brand, and with the 4th pick, we're not going to take the Big Mac fanatic Eddie Curry, and instead we will be taking Jason Richardson, who was a career 17-point scorer and a slam dunk champion. And because the Bulls now have Jamal Crawford and Richardson, with the 30th pick that was actually a second-round pick that moved up because Minnesota forfeited their pick, with the 30th pick we don't take Trenton Hassell. We will instead take Gilbert Arenas, who was a 3-time All-Star and one of the clutchest players in recent NBA history. In the 2001-2002 season, as a result of all of these additions, even though they are all young, they win 7 more games this season as a result. In the 2002 draft, the Bulls drop from the 2nd pick to the 7th pick, and they draft Nene Hilario to be their starting 5. So the Bulls' starting lineup is now Gilbert Arenas, Jason Richardson, Ron Artest, Elton Brand, and Nene, with Jamal Crawford coming off of the bench. And the Bulls in the 2002-2003 season do not trade Ron Artest, a 23-year-old player who is a lockdown defender that was showing signs of potentially being an all-star, for a 30-year-old Jalen Rose. Fuck's sake, how do you mess that up? This also means that the Malice in the Palace never happens, so the NBA doesn't get pussified, so that's cool. In the 2003 NBA draft, with all of these improvements, the Bulls drop from the 7th pick to the 14th, and they draft David West to bring toughness and defense to the team. That, besides for Ron Artest, is pretty weak defensively. And since they missed out on Heinrich with the 45th pick, instead of taking Matt Bonner, they select Mo Williams to be the backup point guard. So in the 2003-2004 season, the Bulls have a starting lineup of Gilbert Arenas, who averaged 19 points and 5 assists, Jason Richardson, who averaged 17.5 points, Ron Artest, who was Kawhi Leonard before Kawhi Leonard, having his first All-Star appearance, Elton Brand, who is a great post-up threat, averaging 17 and 10, and Nene, who is a do-it-all role player. And they had a bench of Mo Williams, who was averaging a solid 8 points and 5 assists, Jamal Crawford, who was averaging 15 a game, leading the bench unit, and Rashard Lewis, who was averaging 14 points per game as a stretch 4. As a result, the Bulls made the playoffs with the 7th seed. Because of our players being young, they don't know how to really contribute to winning basketball, so the Bulls lose to the Indiana Pacers, who dropped to the 2nd seed without our test. But this young Bulls team does show some fight, forcing the Pacers to a Game 6. In the 2004 NBA draft, the Bulls dropped from the 3rd pick to the 18th, and the Bulls still managed to pull off one of the most lopsided trades in recent history, where they trade for Luol Deng, the 7th overall pick, for just cash. Yeah, that actually happened. So Deng plays small forward off of the bench, and with the 18th pick, the Bulls went best available and took J.R. Smith. And the Bulls don't trade Jamal Crawford for a 38-year-old Dikembe Mutombo. Again, why would that ever happen? In the 2004-2005 season, Gilbert Arenas is an all-star this year, averaging 25 points per game. Same thing for Elton Brand, as he averaged 25 and 10, and Jason Richardson and Ron Artest both averaged 15 a game, and Nene averaged 10 points and 8.5 rebounds. And the bench unit, led by Jamal Crawford, David West, and Rashard Lewis, is one of the best in the NBA. As a result, the Bulls are the 3rd seed in the East, and they lose to the Miami Heat in the 2nd round of the playoffs. The Bulls don't have any picks in the 2005 draft, so we're just going to skip through that. And in the 2005-2006 season, the Bulls end up trading Rashard Lewis and Mo Williams to the Knicks for 2 first-round picks instead of Eddie Curry, which is actually a much better trade for the Knicks than what they got in real life. The Bulls are again the 3rd seed, and they again lose in the 2nd round, and because of this, it is incredibly apparent to the Bulls that they need a superstar player. Arenas and Brand are really great, but they need a top 5 level player to contend. Going into the 2006 draft, remember that Knicks trade? Well, the pick we got from them was 2nd overall, which is the same thing that happened in real life. And the Bulls draft LaMarcus Aldridge, and we don't trade him for Tyrese Thomas. Again, why? Also, the Bulls still complete the trade for Thabo Sefolosha, and they decide to run Jamal Crawford at point off of the bench. And the Bulls don't sign Ben Wallace to a massive contract that they did in real life. In the 2006-2007 season, the Bulls are the 2nd seed in the East, but they end up getting knocked off by the LeBron James-led Cavaliers. At this point, the Bulls know it's time to trade for a superstar. In the 2007 draft, the Bulls draft Joakim Noah with the Knicks pick, and they start the 2007 and 2008 season looking for a star. And if you didn't know, back in 2007, the LA Lakers, after trading Shaquille O'Neal, were seriously struggling. As a result, Kobe was fed up with that situation and he demanded a trade. If you don't believe me, here's an audio clip.
You're still under contract with them. Are you saying right here on this show that you want to be traded?
Yeah, I would like to be traded, yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's not a situation where what if you know? I know before you reportedly said that you would like them to get Jerry West back. Are you saying now emphatically, regardless of what they've done, you want out of Los Angeles?
Yeah, I would like to be traded. And as tough as it is to say that, as tough as it is to come to that conclusion, you know, there's no other alternative.
And Kobe had a no-trade clause, and the number 1 team he wanted to be traded to was the Bulls. The Bulls originally offered Joakim Noah, Luol Deng, Ben Gordon, and Tyrese Thomas for Kobe. But Kobe did not waive his no-trade clause because he felt that the Bulls were giving up way too much talent. But now, the Bulls have a lot more assets. So the Bulls now trade Jason Richardson, Luol Deng, Elton Brand, Nene, and 3 first-round picks. A better deal than what the Lakers accepted in real life, and Kobe waives his no-trade clause to join the Bulls because the Bulls still had Agent Zero. No, I meant Gilbert Arenas. Ron Artest, a lockdown defender and solid scorer, a rookie LaMarcus Aldridge and Joakim Noah, while still having Jamal Crawford and David West off of the bench, as well as a rookie Thabo Sefolosha. So they still have plenty of depth after the trade. This also creates perhaps the greatest backcourt duo of all time with a prime Kobe and Gilbert Arenas. The Bulls are the first seed in the East in the 2007-2008 season, and Kobe Bryant wins MVP, finally having the team around him to be successful post-Shaq. And onto the playoffs, the Bulls make their way to the Eastern Conference Finals to play the Boston Celtics, and in 6 close games, the Bulls beat the Celtics to face the Spurs in the finals. Now the Spurs are a great team, and their big three of Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili was still doing very well. But the Bulls are simply better with Arenas and Kobe and Gasol was enough to beat the Spurs in this year's playoffs anyways. So Kobe and Arenas, plus Artest, LaMarcus Aldridge, Noah, Jamal Crawford, and David West, is enough to beat the Spurs in 6 games, giving the Bulls their first championship. And with a rookie Joakim Noah and LaMarcus Aldridge soon to become elite players, they should have a few more championships ahead of them. That's the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NBA content like this, and cue the outro music.
I dare you play your cards, boy, you bet I'm a trendsetter too. Fire when the strobe hits you.
That's it, Brian? Yes.